Adrian Morley, Betfred Challenge Cup final time. This must be the week, the time that you dream of as players.
Oh, very much so. Growing up, when it was first past the post for the championship, the Challenge Cup final was the biggest Rugby League part of the calendar. It was the biggest, the showcase event, and I was fortunate enough in my career to play in a number of finals. So very, very excited. Challenge Cup final week, and we've not had fans there at Wembley for last year. When Salford and Leeds contested it, we didn't have any fans. So the fact that fans are there is great, but just the fact that the Challenge Cup final is being played is very, very exciting.
Just talk me through some of your Challenge Cup final memories, because there was a time about 10 years ago where it felt like you lifting that trophy was almost an annual event.
Yeah, well, that was with my time at Warrington, and it coincided with me being captain there. So we won it three years out of 4 years, so 2009, 2010 and 2012, which was absolutely incredible experience. But I'll flick back 10 years before that in 99 with Leeds. We won the Challenge Cup final. It was the last ever final at Wembley before they demolished it and created this fantastic new stadium. So it was great to enjoy both the old Wembley and the new Wembley. In fact, there's only two players who've got that feat, Lewis.
I was going to ask you this. Who's the other one?
Well, Kieran Cunningham is the other one.
Done.
So I did play a final up at Murrayfield when Wembley was being redeveloped, but we didn't win that one, so I don't tend to talk about that one too much. But yeah, some great memories of the Challenge Cup.
We're going to hear a lot, I'm sure, and it's one of those cliches, isn't it, about treating it as just another game, but it isn't, is it? From the first day of the week all the way through to the final, it's very, very different.
Yeah, very different. It's the build-up in the press, it's on national TV, you're staying out of town in London, these nice hotels, so it's very, very hard to stay focused and say it's just a normal game, because it isn't. All your family and friends are there in the crowd, and it's hard not to focus on them as well. So, the great coaches and the great players will say, just treat it as any other game, but it takes an extra special guy to do that. So it is different, but it's very enjoyable as well as nerve-wracking, and just the whole experience from start to finish. Once you win the semi-final, you've got a few weeks build up there, and then it's on the back of your mind, and the actual week leading up to it, and all the experience of going down and hopefully winning, coming home is absolutely incredible. And then memories do stay with you for life, and it's going back to your hometown or city, and there's the celebrations, the lap of honour and the open top bus and all that kind of thing. So it is an amazing experience. So I'm quite envious of the Castleford and the St Helens teams at the moment.
How important are the first 10, 20 minutes of these games? Because if I go back to 2009 against Huddersfield, I think it was Earl Crabtree, you put a big shot on early on in the game, and that really set the tone.
Yeah, I think it's important for any game, not just any final or big games, where you need to start well, and thankfully we did. And it was funny winning that game. It sort of lifted the shackles off Warrington as a club. They'd not won anything of note for 35 years, and as soon as they won the Challenge Cup final, that's when they realised, they weren't pretenders anymore, they were contenders, and that's when they went on a great run. So that was really the catalyst for the Warrington club, and they're still making these finals now. But yeah, it was great. Warrington had not won the cup for 35 years, but I think Huddersfield had not won it for over 50 years. So one of the clubs was going to break a long hoodoo, and thankfully it was the Warrington club.
So this year's final, St Helens versus Castleford. Castleford haven't won it for 35 years. They want to send Darryl Powell off with some silverware, of course. We're going to probably price them in as underdogs, but do you think they're dark horses in this one? They certainly have the ability, don't they?
Yeah, they have the ability, and you mentioned Darryl Powell there. I know all the players think the world of Darryl, so it's a great motivation for them to send him off as a winner. And I just think it would be great for Darryl. He's put his life and soul into the club for 8 years, made a couple of major finals without actually winning it. So it would be great for Darryl, it would be great for the Castleford players, and great for the town of Castleford. But you mentioned it before, they will start as underdogs. St Helens are a proven pedigree, not just in this competition, but in the Super League. So they will start as favourites. But it's a compelling game. If Castleford play like they did in the semi-final against Warrington, they've got a fantastic chance. But it's getting all the players to have 9, 10 out of 10 games. So, but it's going to be a very compelling final, and I'm looking forward to it.
Given the dominance that we've seen from St Helens in the last few years, it seems crazy to think that they haven't won it for such a long time. But it seems to almost be a bit of a Wembley hoodoo for them. Will that be playing at the back of those players' minds?
That's a great question, that, Lewis. I mean, I know there's a number of players who did play a couple of years ago against Warrington, and they were red hot favourites that day as well, and without actually getting their hands on the cup, and they've won the Super League. They've been the best team in Super League for the last 3 or 4 years. There's no question of that. The fact they've not won a Challenge Cup is a bit of a mystery. You're right. So it probably will play on the players' minds. I think there's only a couple of players who've won the cup. James Roby and there's probably 1 or 2 more, but it probably will play on their minds. But they've got a fantastic opportunity. Against Castleford.
You mentioned James Roby. How important is the battle in the middle? Because those 2 hookers, James Roby and Paul McShane, if either side can get one of those on the front foot, that could be the key, couldn't it?
Yeah, I think the 2 standout hookers in Super League, McShane's the reigning man of steel, and Roby's won it at least once, maybe a couple of times, but it's so consistent. So if any team's going to have a chance of winning down at Wembley, you need them 2 boys to really fire, and they've been great all year, to be fair. So it will be won and lost down the middle. So I think whoever, whichever hooker gets on top, we could have a massive bearing on the eventual winners. And
45,000 people are going to be there, the biggest crowd at a Rugby League game for coming up 2 years now. I mean, what a special occasion it could be for so many reasons, but how good will it be to have a real electric atmosphere inside that stadium?
Absolutely fantastic. I'm really, really excited, for the crowds. It'd be great to have a few more in, but the powers that be said it's only 45,000. So, but 45,000 is better than probably 50 or 60 watched it last year. The size of Wembley, it was a travesty that you couldn't have fans in to watch the last year's final. So great, we've got that many spectators in, and let's hope the 2 teams can throw up a fantastic bit of Rugby League history, and I'm sure they will.
Last question, Moz, it's the all-important one. Who's going to be lifting that trophy?
Tough question. I think, I've mentioned all the reasons before that, the reasons Castleford could and should do it for Daryl Powell, and it would be a fairy tale for them guys. So I'm going to go with the underdogs. I'm going to go with Castleford. I think it's been 35 years since they've tasted success, and I think they've got the team to do it.